This is the syllabus. Electromagnetic field. Unit 1. Electrostatics. The meaning of electrostatic means static means rest. When charges are at rest, then the developed field is named as electrostatics. Before we discussing about the entire this paper, all the physical quantities are expressed in vector fields. That's why we have to know some basic concepts about vector field. So in this first unit, we discuss about the what is meant by scalar, vector field, and their properties also. That means vector addition, subtraction, multiplication, and some properties like gradient, divergent, and some theorems like Gauss divergence theorem, Stokes theorem, like that. And also here we discuss about the coordinate systems. Generally, in our lower section, you have to study about the only Cartesian coordinate system, but there are three types of coordinate systems. That is Cartesian coordinate system, next spherical coordinate system, and cylindrical coordinate system, like that. So how the physical quantities, that means in this chapter, electric field, electric potential, electric flux density, like the terms vary in different coordinate system. Here we discuss in that cases, and in this chapter we discuss two laws, that is Coulomb's law and Gauss law. Here, basing on Coulomb's law, here we discuss electric field intensity in different cases. That means there are three types of charge distributions. One is line charge distribution, and surface charge, volume charge, like that. So how the charge distributions are there and their electric field intensities are measured with the help of Coulomb's law. And also we discuss about the whenever a point charge move from one point to another point in an electrostatic field, that means here there is a work done is acted. So that work done in moving a point charge in an electrostatic field also, here we derive a formula, that is a work done in moving a point charge in an electrostatic field. And also with the help of Coulomb's law, we have to discuss about the what is electric potential. Electric potential is V, it is indicated by the letter V. And also here we discuss potential gradient. Potential gradient means it is the relation between electric field intensity and the electric potential with the help of vectors. Vectors in the vectors there are some properties like gradient, divergent. So potential gradient is a topic which gives the relation between electric field and electric potential. And also in this chapter we discuss about the Gauss law. Gauss law and its applications also, here we discuss. So the applications of Gauss law, and there is a Laplace and Poisson's equation. So these are the syllabus in unit 1. Simply throughout the entire chapter based on the what about the electric field or electric potential when the charges are at rest. That is the entire syllabus in unit 1. And the next unit, unit 2. In this chapter, we discuss about the conductors, dielectrics, and capacitance. what is meant by conductors, their properties, and what about the electric field intensity in different cases of conductors. What is the dielectric, and what about the dielectrics when placed in an electric field, and what are the different types of capacitors like that. So here, electric dipole. The electric dipole means, di means two. Whenever the two equal and opposite charges are separated by a fixed distance, then that arrangement is known as electric dipole and dipole momentum. Now, with the help of this dipole, we have to calculate the potential for the dipole, and also EFI means electric field intensity. So in this case, we have also find out the torque acting on the dipole, and also what about the characteristic properties of conductors and insulators in the field of electric field and their behavior in electric field. That means how the properties are changed when they are placed in an electric field. Here we also discuss about the polarization. Polarization means to convert a non-polar molecule into polar molecule. So here there is a boundary conditions between conductor to dielectric. Before discussing about the differences between conducting materials and dielectric materials, how the electromagnetic waves are move from one medium to another medium. Here we have to take conductor as a one medium, that means first medium, and dielectric as a second medium. Whenever an electromagnetic wave moves from conductor to dielectric medium, then their electric field intensity, their electric potential, their electric flux density are varying from one medium to another medium. That means whether the electric field intensity the changes or not. That means it is a continuous or discontinuous. That will be discussed in this case. That is the boundary conditions between conductors and dielectrics. And also, what is meant by capacitor? Capacitor means simply storage of electric field. There are different types of capacitors in shape, like spherical, cylindrical, etc. And in the cases, how the capacitance is vary. So here there are different types of capacitors are there. So in this chapter, we discuss about the what is the capacitance in parallel plate capacitor, and also spherical capacitor, coaxial cable, like that. And also in this chapter, we discuss about the what is the energy stored in the parallel plate capacitor, and also energy density in the static electric field. Here we discuss about the equation of continuity also. That means charge density, how the charge density in an electric field is varying. That is the equation of continuity. This is a syllabus we have to discuss in unit 2. Next chapter, unit 3. In the previous two chapters, we discussed about the when electric field developed whenever the charges are at rest. In this third chapter, we discuss about the when charges are moved with a constant velocity, that means they are in a DC current, then around the conductors, a magnetic field is developed. So the type of field are named as magnetostatics. Here also in this chapter we discuss two laws. One is Biot-Savart's law and another one is Ampere's circuit law. So what is meant by Biot-Savart's law means whenever a DC current passes through any conductor continuously, around the conductor a magnetic field is developed. Then what is the magnetic field? In different cases, that is discussed in chapter. Here we discuss with the help of Biot-Savart's law how the magnetic field intensity is different in different applications like circular carrying current conductor, and how the magnetic field intensity is developed in a square shaped conductor. That means with the help of Biot-Savart's law, we have to find the formula for magnetic field intensity developed in a circular shape of the charge conductor, and also in a square solenoid shape, and also in a wide. So simply these are all the applications of Biot-Savart's law. In exam point of view, they ask explain about the Biot-Savart's law and write any one of the application. In that case, you have to select any one of the application, that is either circular case or square or solenoid case. Here, the relation between magnetic flux, that is indicated by the letter H, magnetic flux density, that is indicated by the letter B, magnetic field intensity, that is indicated by the letter I, and how they are related. The relation between magnetic flux density, and magnetic field intensity. And here we derive by using Biot-Savart's law Maxwell's second equation. So in the entire paper we derive Maxwell equations. There are 4 Maxwell equations. They are called fundamental laws of electromagnetism. So throughout the paper we discuss Maxwell equations. So here we derive Maxwell's second equation, that is divergent of B is equal to 0. So here we discuss what is the proof of Maxwell's second equation. Here divergent is a property which we have to use from vectors. V is the magnetic flux density. Now here we derive Maxwell's second equation. So that the derivation is div B is equal to 0. These equations are very important in exam point of view. In exam point of view, there is each and every paper, every set of paper containing any one of the Maxwell equation, derive Maxwell first equation, or derive Maxwell second equation, or third equation, and fourth equation, like that. So these Maxwell equations are very important in this chapter, in this paper. So this is about Biot-Savart's law. And next law, Ampere's circuit law. Here also we discuss about the applications of Ampere's circuit law, like magnetic field intensity in the case of infinity sheet, and also long filament carrying conductor, and also we discuss about the point form of Ampere's circuit law. So, and also how the magnetic field intensity varying in the case of rectangular loop also discussed here. So this is the another equation in Maxwell's, that is Maxwell third equation, that is curl H is equal to J. So here in the second chapter, that means here the equation of continuity gives the Maxwell's equation, or from Gauss law also we have to derive the formula of Maxwell's first equation. So in the third chapter, there are two equations we have to discuss. That is Maxwell's second equation, that is div B is equal to 0, and Maxwell's third equation, which is derived from Ampere's circuit law, that is curl H is equal to J. Here curl is also a property of vector, and H is a magnetic field intensity, J is current density. So this is the another Maxwell equations, that is Maxwell third equation, curl H is equal to J. And also here we discuss about what about the magnetic force, that means the force acting on a moving charge in a magnetic field. How the force acted upon a moving charge, that means here two fields are applied on the charges. That means whenever the charge is moving, that means here there is an electric field. Now this moving charge is placed in a magnetic field. That means here the two fields are applied mutually perpendicular on the charge. Then there is a force is developed. So that force can be calculated here. That is the magnetic force and moving charge in a magnet. Also here, Lorentz force equation. What is the Lorentz force equation? When current element, that means a current carrying conductor or a filament, are also named as a current element. So what about the force when a current element placed in a magnetic field? And also in different cases, that is for straight and long current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, and also the force between when two straight long parallel current carrying conductors are placed each other some distance. Then what about the force developed in one straight current carrying conductor due to another one, and vice versa? So that force will be calculated in this chapter. And also magnetic dipole. Whatever we have to discuss in unit 2, that is electric dipole. The definition of electric dipole is arrangement of two equal and opposite charges separated by a fixed distance. That means in electric dipole, we discuss about a positive charge and a negative charge. In the same way, the magnetic dipole, here the magnetic dipole means north and south pole. How the magnetic dipole is formed, and the dipole momentum of the dipole, and what about the differential current loop due to developed by magnetic dipole. The same way whatever we have discussed in second chapter, that is in electric dipole, and also torque acting on a current loop placed in a magnetic field. The very important point is to develop a magnetic field, there is no use magnet. That means there is no usage of magnet, north and south pole. Simply, a current carrying conductor is behave like a magnet. That means around the conductor, a magnetic field is developed. That's why to create a magnetic field, there is a need not a magnet. Just a current carrying conductor is behave as a magnet, and around that conductor, a magnetic field is developed. That is a very important point. You have to remembering entire the paper. And the next, this is unit 4. Self and mutual inductance. How the inductance, that means what is the definition of self inductance? and mutual inductance, and self-inductance in different cases like solenoid, triode, and also mutual inductance in the case of mutual inductance means between two components. Here we take a straight long wire and a square loop wire. Then what about the mutual inductance developed between this straight long wire and a square loop wire, which are in the same plane? And what about the energy stored and energy density in a magnetic field? Inductors are used to store the magnetic energy. Capacitors are used to store electrical energy. In the same way, energy stored and energy density, that means in inductors, in a magnetic field is discussed in this chapter. This is very small chapter, but the content is very difficult. So you have to know about the self-inductance and mutual inductance. Then only you understand about the entire chapter. The applications of this chapter is in a transformer. So for basing on your branch, this chapter is very important. And the next concept is Unit 5, time varying fields. This time varying field, in the previous chapters we discussed about the when charges are at rest, or when charges are moving with a DC velocity. That means the field is constant throughout the time. But this is the chapter we have to discuss time varying fields. So here both electric and magnetic field are variable functions. That means their strength, their intensity or changes with the time to time. So that's why in the previous chapters the dou by dou t value is equal to 0 entirely. But in the case of time varying field, we have to use dou by dou t term. Why? Because they are variable with the time. So here the time varying fields means both magnetic and electric field are variable field along with the time. That is the meaning of time varying fields. So here we discussed Faraday's law. In the previous chapters we discussed Gauss law, Coulomb's law, Biot-Savart's law, Ampere's circuit law, and this is Faraday's law. So here we discuss about the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction and their different forms, integral form and point form. Point form is also named as differential form. And whatever we have to discuss in previous chapters, Maxwell first equation, Maxwell second equation, Maxwell third equation, and here we discuss about the Maxwell's fourth equation, that is curl E is equal to minus dou B by dou T. So this is the Maxwell's fourth equation. And also we discuss about the statical and dynamical induced EMF. These are the applications of generators. So in the entire syllabus we discuss totally here 5 laws. So that is Coulomb's law, Gauss law, Biot-Savart's law, Ampere's circuit law, and finally Faraday's law. So in the final examination point of view, among these 5 laws, compulsory any 2 of the laws are coming into the examination, and also Maxwell 4 equations, Maxwell first equation, second equation, third equation, and fourth equation. So from these 4 equations, any one of the equation will be coming to the examination point of view. So totally this is about the syllabus, what you have to discuss in this paper. So I think the next class we have to continue the basics in a vector field. Without know about the vectors, they cannot understand this paper. So the next class we discuss about the vectors.